Hello and welcome to today's video. Today is update number 3 for my 20 and 2020 project pan. Before we jump in, I want to say a quick thank you for 1,000 subscribers. I cannot believe this. I can't believe there are 1,000 people who decided to hit a little button and hang out with me on a semi-regular basis. It's just so flattering and I'm excited. I'm excited to keep growing relationships with all of you. I love having like this little platform. Again, y'all do not know how much it makes my day when people comment on my videos and I get to say hello and I start to learn names and I start to learn preferences of people, and I love people, and so being able to connect with y'all is just awesome. And I can't believe, like I said, 1,000 people want to hang out with me on a semi-regular basis. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started talking about my update. Let me tell you, I am very excited for today's video. I have 6 new goals hit in this project. Okay, so as we get started, I'm gonna look at my notes for a second. At the first update, we've had hit goal on 2 products, a NYX Primer, and then the second item was a Lancome blush, which I had hit pan on. And then at the second update, I hit goal on 3 additional items, a Milani powder that I hit pan on, a Benefit brow pomade that I finished completely, and a Colourpop lippie stick that I finished completely. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the 6 items that I've hit goal on this update. So I'm going to show you those empties first, or those goals hit first. The first one I have here is a Lorac Eye Primer, and it's a little cruddy, so hopefully it's not too gross to look at. I did end up cutting this open. There was a lot more, like I got to the point where I couldn't squeeze any out. Cut it open, and then there was so much more in there that it actually kind of dried up and became a little bit too hard to use. So I may have cut it open too soon, but then again, I was really having a hard time getting things out of there. So either way, this is done. I didn't hate this primer, so it was kind of fun to use this. It actually really reminds me of the Urban Decay primer that I just started using. So like they're that kind of like almost like waxy texture almost. I don't know if I make sense. I'm not very good at describing that. But either way, that one is done. And the second one that I finished up is this L'Oreal True Match Lumi Foundation. This one was one that I put in at the beginning of this year thinking, of course it's not my favorite foundation, but it shouldn't be a pain in the butt to use up. But this ended up being so like not what my skin likes. Although today I have to say, I don't know what I look like on camera, but I feel so uncomfortable. I ended up trying 2 new products today, and I don't know if it's one of the 2 or the combination of the 2 that makes my face feel, and I feel like it looks awful in person at least. I tried out the Hourglass, the Mineral Veil Primer, and not what I expected. I thought it would feel more hydrating. And then I tried the Too Faced Peach Spray, the matte spray, and oh my goodness, I feel like just like a desert on my face. So it also looks horrible in person, but hopefully it doesn't look too bad on camera. Anyways, back to this foundation. This I bought a long time ago off the recommendation of Jaclyn Hill, but I've just come to the conclusion that we have the skin type like total opposites and it would never work. So this was fun to try out and I'm glad to use it. This is the first foundation I finished this year, but yeah, I got to the point where I couldn't pump it anymore, and so I went ahead and tossed it into my empties bin. Okay, the third item that I'm really excited, because any lip product that I can finish up is like a huge goal for me. So this one is the Italia lip liner that I was using up, and I'll show you on some paper where we were like all the way at the top here at the beginning of this project, and now you can see like it's tiny itty bitty little self. I didn't mark it, but it's done. And there's an up close and personal of my little nubby. I got to the point where I couldn't like sharpen it anymore, so this one is now considered done. And just a little pat on my back. That's my first ever like wooden pencil lip liner. I've used up some like retractable ones before, but that's my first ever like sharpenable one that I've used up. And man, it feels really good. Now, number 4? Yes, number 4. I have my Stila Perfect Me, Perfect Hued Tan Deep like eyeshadow and cheek palette kind of thing. Face palette really. And I was trying to hit pan on this blush shade here. I was using as an eyeshadow. And as you can see, that shiny little pan right there in the center. And I'm really glad, again, to have hit pan in this little palette. Really nice little palette. I really honestly love it most of all for this blush shade here, but this shade here is a little too deep to wear as a blush, so I wanted to kind of push myself to get some use out of it as an eyeshadow, and I actually really fell in love doing that. I love that shade as an eyeshadow, so I'm really glad to have this. All right, the 5th goal hit in this project comes from my Anastasia Glow Kit in the shade Sugar. I'm so excited to show you this too. So you may remember that I was working on the shade Starburst down here at the bottom. It was my least used shade in this palette. And now you can see that we have nice shiny pan right there in the center. And I'm stoked. Like this took me forever. I did not realize how much product is in this daggone palette. Like not only do you get 4 shades, I believe this retails for $40. And I remember when I bought it, I thought to myself, that's ridiculous. I've never spent that much money on like a highlighter in my life. But at the same time, you really do get a ton for your money. You get 4 different highlights, all 4 work on my skin tone, which is so rare, which honestly, I don't buy a lot of highlighting palettes for that reason, because if I see that there's a shade in there that I can't use, I tend to not buy it, even if I like a lot of the other products in there. But this one, I can wear all of these shades. And then to see now just how deep those pans are, they are deep. And this took a lot, like a very long time of almost everyday use. And so I'm really excited to have hit pan on this. All right, and my 6th goal hit may be my most exciting of all the ones. I honestly did not expect to do it, but I did it last week. I think I hit pan on this. This is my Tarte Blush, and I don't know the shade of it. This is a really old little face palette that I believe I snatched up from like a 21 Days of Beauty sale a long time ago. And yeah, I did not expect, like I said, this pan is pretty deep, but I use this thing like crazy. I wore it as blush. It's not the most pigmented blush in the world, like hopefully you can see that. So I was able to kind of build it up quite a bit on days when I wanted a really blush heavy look. And then I also really enjoyed using it as an eyeshadow. So I wore this thing a ton, and I mean like heavily. And it took so long, everyday use, heavy use, to hit pan on this one. But makes me realize that I'm not ready to try to finish this whole thing. Like hitting pan was hard enough. I'm ready to switch it up. I'm ready to get some use out of other blushes in my collection. So I am going to put this back into my collection and gladly know that I have earned the right to use some other blushes now. So that's 11 products out of 20 that I've hit goal on so far. So let's go ahead through the other 9. I'll go through these 2 together. I have OPI Natural Base Coat and a top coat, and hopefully you will see here on the side. We have intro, first update, second update, and third update. We are here. And then we have the top coat here, which again, intro, first update, second update, and third update, we are here. This one I'm glad to see more progress on, because at the last update, I know I told you that I had plans to like lay off using these because I was having a lot of nail issues, a lot of peeling from different things, probably washing my hands because COVID related things, and also like I believe the acetone was making things a little bit worse, trying to like do my nails too often. And so I finally gotten to the point where I can paint my nails again. I just cut them so they're not looking like the fanciest, but I just gave them a little breather today. But I'm really glad to be able to get back to using these. Looking at this now, I think I have a realistic chance of using this nail base coat up, but I'm kind of worried that the top coat might last me all the way until the end of the year, but I will still, I mean, this is just something that I use whenever I paint my nails, so hopefully it will have good progress by the end of the year and be completed by then. So those nail polishes were the only non-makeup items in this project. So let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the makeup items. This is my Hocus Pocus like illuminating primer. And hopefully you can see here, intro, first update, second update, and third update, we have really good progress. I really enjoy this. Let me see if I can give you a little bitty swatch. Honestly, it's not the best smelling product, but I think that it gives like a really pretty glow to my skin without being too much. It doesn't really look artificial. It almost has like a peachy orangey sheen to it, which I really think it's fun versus like those traditional like gold illuminating primers. So I really like this, and I'm really glad that I put this into this project. This has been really nice to wear. I should have worn it today. I didn't even think about it, but I wanted to try a new like primer. So I am happy to keep working on this. And honestly, I normally complain about how slowly I use up primers, and I almost want to do that with this because I like to have empties, but at the same time, I'm glad that this lasts me so long and that I get so much use out of it, because it is something that hopefully they don't discontinue. I could see myself picking something like this up again from Soap & Glory. Okay, and my next item is my Tarte Foundation, and this is the Hybrid Gel Foundation. I have some decent progress on this. I was like I said at the last one, I am slowly but surely using this. This has become something that I really only wear when I'm filming at this point. And mostly because it's summer and I want something lighter, lightweight, that feels a little less heavy. I don't know, but I feel like I kind of get in that like routine in summer. I want something really light, like a powder foundation or a tinted moisturizer that has some sunscreen in it or something. I don't want something too heavy unless I'm filming. So this, and I honestly think this is kind of like perfect for me for a filming foundation, because I don't typically in my day-to-day life prefer something this full coverage. This is medium to full. I can get it to be full coverage if I want it to be. So this is something that I am enjoying using, but I do realize that this is going to last me a good while, although I do have decent progress on it. So to recap the weight progress for that Tarte foundation, at the intro we weighed 170.2 grams and today we weigh 162.2 grams. So we're making some progress, but it is a little bit slow going because it's not an everyday foundation for me. And if you really want to finish off foundations fast, it's no secret, you have to wear them regularly. All right, moving into the 16th product in this project. This is my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Setting Powder. And hopefully you can see intro, first update, second update, third update. And I have the very littlest bit of this left. I probably should have this done by the next update. Honestly, I'm using a lot of face powders right now. I have another one in my new Decade project pan, and then occasionally I like to throw one in and try one just for my collection because I like to mix things up a little bit. So this should be done next update. Okay, and the 17th item in this project is my Loreal little mini diamond dust highlight. It's a little baked highlight here, and hopefully you can see, I will include hopefully better photos of progress. I haven't really dedicated, like I said, myself to using this thing, and I'm starting to doubt whether or not I will eventually, like, I probably will be lucky to hit pan on this. I doubt I will finish this year, because now that I realize that I'm having a lot more fun working on my cream Colourpop foundations in my Partners in Cream project pan. I'm just enjoying them so much, and I like rotating them out a little bit more often. And to finish something, even a mini, takes dedication, a little bit more dedication than what I am willing to like give right now. So I feel like I just picked poorly for this project. So I didn't realize that I would be so into working on cream products, but I do want to keep working on it because it is a stunning highlight and is one of my favorite, like probably my favorite highlight in my collection, especially for everyday use. But for now, I just don't expect to see the grandest progress, but hopefully we'll see maybe by the end of the year. Maybe I just need to officially change my goal to hit pan on this, and I'll be happier for that reason. So let's go ahead and do that officially. Let's go make this my goal to hit pan on, not finish this year. So hopefully by the end of this year, I will hit pan on this. Okay, number 18 in this project is my Too Faced Natural Matte Eyeshadow Palette, and I'm working to hit pan on this shade here, Heaven, this light white base setting shade. And hopefully you can see, I definitely have a really good dip in this thing, but I do not have pan yet. These shadows are notoriously super hard pressed, and I honestly don't use this every day unless I'm doing a more intricate eyeshadow look where I feel like I need to make sure my base is set and everything's good. Otherwise, if it's just day to day and I'm just like walking down the street to a grocery store, I tend to just fluff some blush or something into my crease or some bronzer, and I rarely and put a super shock shadow on top, and I rarely remember to like set my lid on those days. But so that's part of the reason why this one isn't going as quickly, but I'm gonna try to push it and see if maybe by the next update I can't have pan for you in this one. All right, number 19 is probably the most boring. There's absolutely no progress in this. I have not used this once since the last update, and the reason is still the same since the last update, which is that I am working to finish this in another project, and I am doing really well with it, but it serves the same like function as this little Benefit pencil does. So I'm really dedicated to finishing this side first before I finish the Benefit pencil, because this product will be done and completed then, and I dislike this product more than I dislike this one. So this one, I kind of feel like once I started using it, this was a product when I put it into this project, I didn't know what to do with it, I didn't know how to use it, and once I put it in and started panning it, I saw good progress and I saw how to use it better, and now I kind of realize like it's something that I almost don't want to blow through, because I kind of like it for certain days, like special occasion makeup where I want to like really cream contour and get a little bit more snatched with my facial features, I want to use this kind of product. This is not an everyday product, and I feel like panning, I do better with products that I'm gonna enjoy using every day versus special occasions. So I will talk about what I'm gonna do about this product in a minute, but let's go ahead and talk about the last item in this project. This is my Duo Lash Adhesive. And again, we have steady progress, not finished though. And the weight on this one was 6.8 grams when I rolled it in at the introduction. And today we are at 6.2 grams. So not bad, but you know, not the best. I honestly do good to wear lashes once a week because honestly, I don't leave the house, and sometimes I feel like putting them on to film, but sometimes I don't feel like putting them on to film. So hopefully we'll see this as an empty by the end of the year, but it is a little bit slower than I would have hoped when I rolled this project in, when I rolled this into the project at the beginning of the year. So that shows you the 20 items that I've been working on, or I've addressed the 20 items that I've been working on. And I said at the intro that I didn't think I was going to make this a rolling project pan because I wanted to do too many other project pans. But I realized recently, I think I saw someone, and I honestly cannot remember, my mind has gone completely blank on who I recently heard do this, but they turned their like 20 project pan, little 20 in 2020 project pan into, once they got below 10 items that they were working on, they turned it into like a little rolling 10 pan. And I thought that's something I can handle. And I don't really feel like starting a project right now. So I feel okay with rolling in, like I said, 2 items. So I'm gonna roll in 2 items because I'm working on 9 at the moment, so 1 would make 10. But then also I realized that I'm not really actively working on this guy here, so I'm gonna roll in an item just in case I don't manage to finish this one by the end of the year. So these are the 2 items that I'm gonna roll into this project. One is a little NYX Liquid Illuminator, and it's been in a project last year, so I'll mark this with a different color Sharpie. But we are starting right here at this last line, and I'll just give you a little swatch. So this is definitely more of a cool tone, very like metallic kind of highlight. And honestly, I used to use it as a highlight or like as a primer, but I realize nowadays that it has a good bit of like glitter flakes in it. And so sometimes it can be a little too much for like primer, unless I'm going in with a heavier foundation, then it can work fine. So I'll probably use this up both as a primer and a little bit as like a body highlight, but this one is one that is probably the oldest liquid highlight in my collection, so I'd really like to get this done this year. So I figure why not put it into like this kind of style video, because this is perfect kind of to get a final push to get this done by the end of this year. And the second and last product that I'm putting into this project is an e.l.f. brow pencil, and this one is what we're working with. Not a lot left. I've been using this since I finished up my last Benefit pencil, and I will mark this on the cap, but this is where we will start off this time, and I'm going to try to finish this. Honestly, this brow product isn't my favorite. The pencil I find is a little thick, but also it's a little waxy, and I find that it's not the easiest to work with. It's just not my favorite brow pencil formula. So this one is one that I would like to have done by the end of this project. So that brings us to the end of the video. That's everything. Make sure you say hello in the comments. Let me know what you think. It's a lot of products, but I feel like, especially now that we're in July and I've already finished more than half of my items, I feel pretty confident about rolling some things in. But yeah, let me know what you think. Make sure you say hello, and I will see you in the next one.